All right, cool. Sweet. Flatline MMA podcast episode number 25. The fan favorite is back. We got our boy Zach. No mustache this time, though. So very confused about that one. You got no mustache, Zach. The boys are here. There's been a lot going on in the world of MMA, specifically UFC, especially with the virus going around. A lot of things have changed. Some things have been canceled. We're going to talk last weekend's card, UFCBrasilia. It was a weird one because this was the first time ever that there was no fans, obviously due to the outbreak, the virus. They wanted to kind of keep things clear. Capacity had to be under 50 people, so anyone was in there, no fans. It was just trainers, cutmen, ref, commentators, Dana White, his staff, stuff like that. So this was a weird one. It was headlined by Kevin Lee, Charles Oliveira. This one was a big one. I think there was a lot of implications in the lightweight division, so we'll get into that. But overall, we definitely had some exciting fights on this card, so just want to get right into it. I think on this one, right, you take a look at some of the prelims. I think we had a very exciting flyweight fight. We had Brandon Moreno taking on Jussier Formiga. Great fight. I know that was a 3-round decision going to Moreno. That kid is working his way up the ranks. He deserves a big fight next. I know we posted a couple videos. They're fast, man. Moreno is fast, lightning quick. That man's going to be a problem. If this flyweight division stays around, this is the kid that you got to watch out for because he is a savage. So what do you guys think of Moreno? What do you think about his win? Do you think he's kind of like the next big thing in the flyweight division?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big win for him. I mean, Formiga is a tough opponent. He's one of the top ones in, 125. And I saw this tweet. I don't know if it's true. I'm trying to look it up. But I guess out of all of Formiga's losses, those opponents have gone on to fight for the title right after. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's a tweet that I saw.
I mean, you got to think about it. Formiga's the last guy to beat Figueiredo. So the guy's kind of always been up there in the division, always just like cracking for that title fight. But I mean, I think that's true. I can take a look at his wins, losses, but yeah, that does sound right. And I obviously no one knows what's happening with the flyweights. So it's like, that was a big win for Moreno. He made a statement. But yeah, I mean, dude, kid's so fast, like lightning quick.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see him, do some damage. Let's get a big fight next. So I think he did enough there to earn himself that. And then just kind of going to the main card here, I think we had a couple big ones. We had the return of Johnny Walker coming back from his, knockout loss over Corey Anderson. So I think a lot of people were excited to see, is he going to come back? Is he going to do something crazy? Flying knees, everything he was doing in his first couple fights in the UFC. Kind of a hard-fought decision. Unfortunately, he didn't get the nod. Nikita Krylov. Overall, wasn't too crazy about the fight. I thought it was a pretty boring fight. They showed their respects after, but I don't know. What do you guys think of Johnny Walker's return?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the most exciting fight. I was expecting more of a standing battle, especially, I guess, Nikita's background's karate.
Yep.
So I was thinking it was going to be more of a standing battle. It was more just grappling. There really wasn't too much ground and pounds. There wasn't a whole lot of submission attempts either. So it made for a kind of a lackluster fight for me anyway.
Yeah, very disappointing. Zach, what'd you think about it?
I mean, I was pretty surprised with Krylov was piecing Walker up pretty good when they're on the feet. And he was still like, he would land some good hits and then he would clinch and try and take him down. I thought overall in all areas of the fight he did a lot better than Johnny Walker. It looked like when Johnny Walker would get hit, he looked like he was surprised that he was getting punched, and then felt he faded pretty fast too.
Yeah, I think he was super timid in this fight too. I think because he came into that Corey Anderson fight like super cocky. And dude, to be completely honest, I think he flew under the radar this fight card. I don't think a lot of people knew he was even fighting on this. He was so up here in terms of like, oh, he's the next guy to beat John Jones, like all this stuff. And then he kind of just like fizzled out. And I think you could tell in this fight, he was definitely nervous. He was timid to like go out there and do what he normally does with his flying knees, friggin' all that stuff. So obviously back-to-back losses for him. He's going to get back on track there. So hopefully, Obviously, he's gonna, he ain't gonna be cracking, the top 15 there with anyone crazy. But Nikita, that's a big win for him. Johnny Walker is a big name, so I think he's gonna kind of shoot up the rankings there and see what he can do if he can get a ranked opponent next there. So, and then next we had Hanada Moicano taking on Demir. I'm gonna butcher this. Hadzovic. Obviously, Moicano being kind of a hometown fan there, getting it done early, submission. And then there was some chatter afterwards. Moicano was pissed. He was in Demir's face. He was going nuts. Moicano was someone that was kind of on the up and rise. He got, I think, dismantled by. He fought Aldo. I think he got dismantled by Aldo. Then he got dismantled by Korean Zombie. So he kind of hit a little bit of a speed bump there, but a big win for him. Obviously in Brazil, hometown guy. What'd you guys think of Moicano there?
Yeah, it was kind of a weird fight. It ended so quick, and I don't know. It was like as soon as they hit the ground, Moicano kind of ran around him and took his back. It was like a really weird exchange, and he ended up choking him out. So I don't know. I wish it went a little bit longer. Nothing great.
Yeah, that was a quick finish. I mean, wasn't the whole fight was like less than a minute.
Yeah.
He choked him so fast. At first, what I thought happened was I can't say the guy who got rear naked choked. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I thought he was talking shit to Moicano after he got tapped out in like a minute. And I was surprised, thinking, oh, you can't. How are you going to talk crap to someone after they just choked you out in less than a minute? But I actually couldn't understand. I could not follow what was going on.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out the same thing because it looked like Moicano was super pissed.
Yeah.
But then it was like Demir was like going back at it. But I don't know. Apparently after the fight, I guess Moicano wanted to fight longer. And then Demir's like, well, why did you submit me then? Which is like the most absurd statement I've ever heard in my life. Because it's like, what do you mean? Like Moicano made it look easy submitting you. Like you took your back in 10 seconds and then choked you out. Getting a submission that quickly is like pretty impressive. So, but yeah, I mean, from there, it's Moicano definitely. I think he gets back on track here. I think he gets a highly ranked opponent here and within the top 15. So I think big things for him because he was on the verge of becoming cracking the top 10, getting those big names. So
he's only lost to the two of the top guys in the division.
Yeah, seriously.
So there's nothing. He's definitely back on track. He looked good before his losses, and then losing to Korean Zombie or Aldo, there's it's not like a knock on him,
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed about that. He's still young too, up and coming, so he's got plenty of big fights in his future there. So, so that one's exciting. Then on to the co-main event, which I think definitely had a lot of build-up, a lot of hype to this one too. You have Damian Maia, who's an absolute legend of the sport, right? The human backpack. If he gets on top of you, you ain't getting him off, right? Taking on Gilbert Burns, some guy who's coming up the ranks. This guy's an absolute savage. I've been following this guy from the beginning. He's been doing really well. He's on a 5-fight win streak. Defeating Damian Maia by TKO in the first round. That hook was just beautiful. You really don't see Damian Maia, fall like that. So I think that hook was perfectly timed. They actually showed like a video of him practicing it beforehand, and he just landed it perfectly. So, I mean, when you beat Damian Maia, typically big things happen. You know what I mean? Damian Maia's fought friggin' everyone in the welterweight division, and typically those are the guys that are getting the number one contender fights, the title fights after this. You know what I mean? You look at guys like who fought him, like Colby, Usman, like all those guys, right? Woodley. It happens every time. So what'd you guys think of Gilbert Burns? I know he's kind of young, up and coming. What'd you guys think of him? Because he looked impressive.
Yeah, no, he did look really good. I mean, for some reason, I thought that fight went into the second round, but I guess it was first round knockout.
Round one.
But no, it looked pretty even up to that point. They had some grappling exchanges. I think Maia even did he take his back at the beginning of the fight?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, no, he did. He did.
He had him.
Burns has some serious grappling credentials too, though. So he defended pretty well. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, it looked pretty even. They just caught him with that left hook, like really, really quick, and just just put him out. I mean, he gave him a second to kind of get it back, and then he hopped on him and finished the fight. So, that was a fun one to watch.
Yeah. Some vicious hammer fist at the end by Gilbert, too.
Yeah.
Those are vicious, man. But yeah, Zach, what'd you think about that one?
Yeah, I was impressed with Burns. I think if anybody that's going to be able to get the human backpack off you, he'd definitely be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He did great. He did a great job defending. At one point, I thought Maia was going to sink in that rear naked choke, but he got out, turned around, stood up, and then that flash left hook just came out of nowhere. I was really surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a perfect punch.
Seriously, and I saw he was timing it in the back. They showed a video of it, and it was just like, it was so perfect. Those are like, I feel like when you're back there, you think, like some game plan is gonna like work out, and it's like crazy. I know Connor did that with the Aldo punch, like he was doing it in the back before. So it's like crazy how that kind of stuff works out. So, and I know with Gilbert Burns, obviously riding a 5-fight win streak right now, just coming off 2 big wins of Gunnar Nelson, Damian Maia. Those are 2 like top names in the division there, hoping that he gets someone big next. I know he even threw his hat in the ring to fight Woodley for the UFC London card. There's rumors Woodley turned it down. I don't know. Obviously, that card is off the table now. That one just got postponed. But what a savage, right? Stepping in after you just fought the weekend before. So this kid's been impressive, man. I think he's overall he's becoming like such a better mixed martial artist. I know his ground game's already really good, but I mean that boxing looked crisp. And I'm not saying Damian Maia's the best boxer in the world. We all saw the Askren Maia fight. It wasn't anything crazy, but I mean that punch doesn't get any better. So, and then with Damian Maia, I know he said he's got one more left. He wants one more fight before he retires. He said he either wants Diego Sanchez or Donald Cerrone. So those are the 2 names he threw out. I would love to see him in Cerrone. I really would. I think Diego's kind of out of his mind right now. So I think Cerrone, someone as active as him, I think that's a great fight, to be completely honest. What do you guys think about that one to end off Maia's career?
Yeah, I mean, it's that striker versus grappler, classic fight.
Cerrone's not bad he's off his back either.
Yeah.
So I guess
exactly.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a good one. So obviously, Maia, legend of the sport, one more. So I definitely want him to get an exciting fight. When he puts down those gloves. So that was a fun one. We all knew that one was going to be a good one. And then coming to the main event, we had Kevin Lee, Charles Oliveira, lightweight bout. This one we knew was going to be fun. We knew this one was going to – I kind of figured this one was going to end in a finish. Oliveira getting it done in the 3rd by rear naked choke. Oh, no. Was it a rear naked choke or was it guillotine?
Yeah, guillotine.
It was guillotine.
Yeah, caught his head on the takedown.
All right, guillotine. And it was just overall, like, it was a weird fight because it was like Oliveira was getting the best of Kevin Lee on the feet, which I thought the complete opposite was going to happen. I thought Kevin Lee was at least going to piece him up, then get taken down or submitted, something like that. But I think a lot of hype coming off Kevin Lee, coming off the decapitation of Gregor Gillespie, and I think Kevin Lee has such a bad rap. It's like when he wins, everyone's so high on him. But once he makes one mistake and he loses or he misses weight, everyone just tears him apart. And I think all that pressure gets to him. And I don't think he stuck to the right game plan. He was trying to take Oliveira down. He was trying to do things that he shouldn't have. He should have just stuck with his game. He even said, he's like, I went away from the game plan and I got caught. So what do you guys think of this one? Obviously, Kevin Lee missing weight. What do you guys think about that first? I know there was a lot of distractions that week, but, Oliveira made weight. Kevin Lee not making weight, and then him just getting submitted. Obviously, Oliveira is all-time leader in submissions, but, what do you think about that fight? And what do you think about Oliveira going on a 7-fight win streak, all finishes? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't look like himself that whole fight. I mean, he was slower. He wasn't keeping up with the striking. His takedowns didn't really look that great. The attempts, it looked more of like a tired attempt at a shot.
Yep.
To me. And I think Oliveira's first round just really took the wind out of his sails. Like, he really poured it on him in every single way, in the striking. He had a bunch of different, heel hook, all sorts of types of submission attempts. I think he just overwhelmed him in that first round, and I think he just went through the rest of the fight just beat pretty much in his head.
Yeah, no, agreed. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, I was really impressed with Oliveira, especially on the striking exchanges. That one jumping front kick to the face looked like it fucked Lee's face. Like, he was already bleeding. That was in the first minute of the fight.
Yeah.
And then, so the first round, I definitely would. Oliveira was really dominant. Like Kev said, like rolling for the grappling, rolling for the heel hooks and stuff, I think threw Lee off. And then, although in the second round, though, in terms of the striking, I thought that right before Kevin Lee got submitted, he landed some really good strikes himself.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he had Oliveira hurt too, and then he just got trapped in that guillotine, which I guess it was so tight that it made Lee tap, and he must have gone out or something, because they're filming him. There's no way someone would pretend that they didn't tap when it's caught on camera, right? So he must have gone out or something, came back. And then that's when he shot the takedown after the ref stepped in. It was so odd to finish.
Yeah. I don't know, because I feel like if you tap and then go out and then come back to it, I think you would have known.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I have been choked out before, and I didn't tap, and then I thought we were still rolling, but I don't know. I think
the fight ended. I don't know.
I think what might have happened is he tapped. Oliveira loosened up the choke. He thought that the ref didn't see, and then he tried to continue fighting after that. Something like that. But who knows? I mean, he could have went out and forgot that he tapped. So.
Yeah, and it's also just Kevin. He just does weird things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, overall, like, Oliveira getting it done, right? 7 straight wins, 7 finishes. That's like pretty unheard of for the UFC, and
in the lightweight division too.
Lightweight division, that's murder's row.
Yeah, that's like a Ferguson Khabib level.
Yeah, seriously. So I mean, and the names that he's taken out, he's got a pretty good hit list there. Obviously, Kevin Lee being big name, someone that fought for the interim title not too long ago. But I guess my next question, Kevin Lee, I know afterwards he said he's going to take some time off. He goes, you guys probably aren't going to see me for a couple of years. I got to figure stuff out. The guy's still 28. He's still so young. I still believe he has, the ability, the talent to be a champion. I just think he's got to get more disciplined. I think he's got to get his weight under control. Clearly something happened in this camp. I know he was in Brazil. I know the whole virus outbreak happened. I know there was no fans. Like, I don't know if that got to his head, but if this kid gets disciplined and comes in, like, look at what he did to Gregor Gillespie. It's like, if that Kevin Lee comes every time, this kid's going to be unstoppable. But it seems like he wants to take some time off. So I don't know if I fully believe him, because I think he needs fighting, because I think he's good at it. But I think it's more, if this kid gets disciplined, he could be, one of the best here. So, and then just kind of moving to Oliveira, right? Obviously, like we just said 3 times, 7 straight. This guy deserves a big fight next. He's been fighting in the UFC forever. I think they said he came into the UFC when he was 12-0, and now he's 29-8. So he's roller coaster ride, right? Most submissions. The guy's an absolute wizard. Now his boxing's looking crisp. So he's dangerous, man. He definitely needs a fight, and he needs a big opponent next, because I think he's we're probably 1 fight away, 2 fights away from fighting for the title, to be completely honest. So and we know lightweight is absolutely stacked, and you got the Gaethjes, obviously you got Tony Ferguson, Khabib. So we got a ton of guys still waiting in line. We got Connor holding up the whole division, because apparently he's getting the next fight. He's getting the next crack at either Tony or Khabib. So, but no, really impressed with Oliveira. So we'll see what happens with him next. But yeah, so UFCBrasilia, definitely weird, like not having the crowd in there, because they were like interviewing the fighters after. It was just like weird overall. They were the walkouts. They were like trying to get everyone pumped up, but there was no one there. So it was just like a weird vibe. But I know the next 3 weeks, I know Dana White just came out. He's postponing the next 3 events. So the next 3 events would have been UFC Fight Night London with Woodley and Edwards, which would have been a freaking great fight. UFC on ESPN 8, which would have been Francis Ngannou and Jairzinho Rosenstrike, which would have been another absolute banger. And then we had UFC Fight Night 172, Alistair Overeem versus Walt Harris, which, again, it's a heavyweight bout. That would have been fireworks. Leaving us with the best one of them all. We're praying to the gods that this one stays on. I know it's not going to be in New York. It's not going to be at the Barclays Center, but Khabib, Tony, that's the next fight that we have to look forward to, boys. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this fight is actually going to happen? 5th time's the charm, or do you think that they're gonna cancel this one? What do you think?
How funny would it be if they put it where they do? Because this weekend, the way it was set up reminded me of The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
When they do the fights. So what if they should just have the fights there. That'd be hilarious.
Apparently, they said no to that.
Lightning fights of all time, and where they film tough. That'd be great.
Yeah, apparently, Kev, I think we were talking about this. They said no to the Apex in Vegas because apparently they're shutting all that stuff down too. So Dana White went on to SportsCenter today, and he said this is most likely going to be somehow overseas. They're gonna get it done, and I'm telling you right now, it's going to be in front of like 4 people. It's going to be the craziest thing ever. But what I'm most excited about is the no fans. We're going to get to hear Tony Ferguson talking shit to Khabib just off his back. It's going to be the craziest thing ever. And then we're going to hear Khabib do his whole thing where you have to quit. You have to quit. Like all this stuff. It's going to be insane. But, I mean, this is a fight that Dana White cannot lose again. So I think he's going to do everything in his power. Obviously, this fight is April 18th. So we're coming on about a month away. Obviously, no one knows what's going to happen with the virus and stuff. But this is the biggest fight, I think, in UFC history. You can say Conor and Khabib was, the biggest fight ever revenue-wise, but this is going to have – I think it's going to have the most eyes on it ever. But I don't know what's going to happen with, fans or if it's going to be done by then. But I don't know. I think early predictions – I just want to say it. I don't care if it's a month away. This is the next fight we have to look forward to. Bellator canceled everything. Cage Warriors canceled everything. Tony Ferguson, Khabib, April 18th. I need to hear some very early predictions right now. What do we got? Zach, starting with you.
Ferguson by submission, round 3 or later on.
Wow. Love that. Off his back?
Yeah, I think it's going to be like the Kevin Lee fight. Just tired him out, and then he was in his guard and choked him out.
Oh my God, can you imagine how insane it'll be if he submits Khabib? That'll be the craziest.
Exactly, it'll be wild.
There's gonna be no fans there for it. It's gonna be insane. All right, Kev, what do you think? Early prediction: Khabib versus Tony.
I want Tony to win so bad.
I do too, man.
Yeah, I'm going for Tony, and he's got the best chance out of anybody to beat Khabib, in my opinion. He does have some weaknesses. He puts himself in a lot of trouble.
That's it.
In pretty much all of his fights. But he takes risks, and I think his style goes well with how Khabib fights.
Yeah.
He's got really great jiu-jitsu. He's got that unorthodox striking that might throw him off. He's got some pretty good wrestling too, so he might be able to fend off some of the takedowns. But oh man, yeah, I'm hoping Ferguson wins
by submission, by TKO. What do you think?
Probably a decision, I'd say. I don't know if he'd be able to submit him because I don't know, the guillotine that Poirier had him in.
Yes.
How deep that was, and he made that little mistake. I think Khabib would rather just go completely out than ever tap. So but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Javier Mendez said he has never seen Khabib tap. He said exactly what you said. That man would rather go out than tap. That's just not part of him. I mean, personally, how I think this fight's going to go, I think Tony's going to get mauled for the first 3 rounds. And then, Zach, I do agree with you. I think he's going to catch Khabib. I think it's going to get mauled. I think the first 3 rounds, it's going to be like, Tony's getting fucked up. everyone's going to say we knew this was going to happen, and I think Tony's just going to catch him, and it's going to be just like blood everywhere. I think on the way down one of his takedowns, I think he's going to elbow Khabib in the head. Khabib's going to be cut for the first time. It's going to be the craziest fight ever. I think it's going to be a crazy fight. You know, obviously I love Khabib, but I also love Tony, and I want Tony to win. And it's just this is the craziest fight ever because it's so 50-50. It's like you got all the Tony fans that love Tony and think this is the guy that's going to do it. And you got Khabib's nation of fans that are like, Khabib is God. He beat McGregor. He beat Poirier. No one's ever going to beat him. So this fight needs to happen. It needs to happen April 18th because I'm afraid if it doesn't happen April 18th, it's never going to happen again. And it's going to be the fight that everyone wanted that never happened. So this is the next fight we see, boys. April 18th. I don't know where it's going to be, but it's going to be on pay-per-view. I don't care if it's in front of 2 people or 1 million people. It's going to be live on pay-per-view. So it's going to be the biggest fight in UFC history. I can't wait. I just want to see these 2 savages. And then my question to you would be, do you think the winner of this goes down as the lightweight GOAT? Do you think Khabib has done enough to beat the lightweight GOAT? Or if Tony beats him, do you think Tony has done enough in his career to be considered the lightweight GOAT?
I think for Khabib, if he wins, yeah. But for Tony, it'd be his first time winning the belt. He'd have to defend it a couple times, in my opinion, to be able to make that statement.
He did have the interim belt before Khabib, though.
Yeah, that's true. Who did he fight for that?
Right.
Was that? Who did he fight for that?
He fought Kevin Lee. That's the one he submitted Kevin Lee off his back. So I get it because they're in similar situations, right? You look at Tony beat Kevin Lee, who Kevin Lee wasn't the number 1 contender at that time for the interim belt. And then you got Khabib, who beat Iaquinta, who was ranked number 11 when he won the belt. So it's not like these guys, you know, and then obviously Khabib beat Conor, which kind of cemented him as the real champ. Tony didn't get a chance to do that. But Tony also didn't lose his interim title. So this is what makes it interesting. But
I think Tony has a better record at lightweight in terms of the quality of opponents than Khabib, to be honest with you. I think Khabib's most impressive win was over Poirier, you know, and obviously the McGregor win too.
Yeah.
But I think that Ferguson definitely has a better record, quality record at lightweight than Khabib.
Yeah, because I look at both of their records; they're very similar, but it's like Tony fought all these guys first. You know what I mean? Like he took on Barbosa like in his prime, like when Barbosa was killing people, and he submitted them. Right? He took on guys like Josh Thompson. He took on RDA when RDA was like at his like prime too. Like when he was still lightweight, he was murking people, and he made it look easy. So it's like they have similar records. And then you look at Khabib. Obviously, Khabib beat Conor, so that's an impressive win. Taking on Dustin Poirier, who was on an absolute streak. But Khabib has fought guys like RDA. He's fought guys like Barbosa. He's beat up all those guys. So it's like so similar. But
You're right.
Yeah. So for Tony to do 12 in a row, for Khabib to do, he did 12 in a row in the UFC as well. I mean, this is just, what more can you ask for this? But Kev, I think I agree with you in terms of Khabib. I think Khabib needs like one more. And I think Tony, you're right. He can't be the GOAT if you just win the belt once. So he's got to defend it a couple times. I do agree with that. Because you got to think, if Tony wins this, you're assuming it's going to be Conor Gaethje. If Khabib wins this, you got to assume it's going to be probably Conor Gaethje again. You know what I mean? So these guys literally have the same path. It's just who's going to win next. But it's going to be crazy. I mean, Khabib said he's going to call it a career at 30-0. Who knows if he wins? Maybe he calls out GSP. He calls out. I don't know what he's going to do next. But this fight needs to happen. I'm super excited. Anything else from you guys?
Got to give a shout out to 41-year-old Francisco Trinaldo, dude, for he beat up what the hell's his name on the card that just happened last week. I forgot Can't remember.
John McDossie.
Yeah, for 41 years old, the guy looks pretty good, man.
Dude, these guys friggin' I know these older guys showing up the young guys, man.
Seriously.
It's impressive. Yeah, shout out to Francisco.
That's all I had to add.
Shout out to Francisco. Shoot us a follow, dude. Shoot us a follow. If you're watching this, which I know you are, shoot us a follow. What's it called? Where's who just followed us the other day? Was it Brendan Moreno's wife?
Nah, she liked that photo.
You liked our photo. And then we threw our follow. She didn't follow back yet, but we'll wait for her to follow back. But, all right, boys. UFCBrasilia, great card. The next card, guys, is UFC 249. Hoping there's no changes, but it looks like no MMA for the next 3 weeks here. So we're still going to be keeping you updated with everything because I know there's going to be a ton of shit going on with this virus and stuff. So hopefully we hear some news on some stuff there. But click that subscribe button. We're going to be putting out content. Zach's going to be joining the show like every once in a while, like minus the mustache though, because I think we lost a lot of viewership with the mustache. Lot of ugly DMs being like, we're not watching the show anymore. So unfortunately, I'm glad you didn't come with the mustache on this one. So subscribe, like our stuff. We're going to put out more videos on our Instagram, Facebook. Follow us, YouTube. Click that subscribe button. And until next time, Flatline MMA. Peace.